Man, getting nice and cozy over here. Ugh. Welcome to Stories by the Barrel Fire. Matt, could you pass me one of those sticks?
Yeah, here you go.
Thanks.
You want a marshmallow on that stick, or are you just gonna roast the
I'm
stick?
just gonna roast the stick first.
Oh,
That's
one way to do it. That's why we do the barrel fire.
Right. So it's Stories by the Barrel Fire. I'm doing a little different today.
Yeah, we're gonna do stories about the station.
Yeah, because it's been quite the month already,
Yep.
and we haven't done a State of the Station in quite some time.
We've been doing this what, 2 months, maybe
Almost.
3 months officially.
Yeah, we started in February,
Things were a little
and it was
slow.
pretty much just GMYD, and we were playing some songs, and then we started bringing people in to test their shows out. And March was the hard launch because
Yeah.
the very first official GMYD on the station was the 28th of February.
So we're right about 2 months.
Yeah,
I think it's.
it's about that time.
We don't have a band today, so we thought we'd jump on and.
Oh no, I did this on purpose.
Oh yeah, we scheduled this on purpose because it's been 2 months.
Yes. we actually are going to be on a repeat next week because Comedy Smackdown we're gonna be
Smackdown.
out. So
Instead of listening to Barrel Fire, why don't you come out to Comedy Smackdown? It's at the VA Beach Funny Bone, so vabeachfunnybone.com because it's not awkward at all to say.
all right. Tickets
Tickets are $12.
$12, man.
$12. It's a lot of comedy.
Yeah,
We're talking about a good 2.5, 3 hour show.
it's gonna be great. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a great time. And so, before we really start hopping into it, at this point in the show, I always like to remind everybody to go to patreon.com/radiofreeradio, because if you go there, you give $1 to our Patreon page, become a patron of the station, and you get everything we put out.
Yeah.
16 hours of content weekly and growing. And maybe that's enough for you. Maybe just the 16 hours is enough because it'll get you through your workday. You can listen to however many shows a day it takes you to get through your workday. If that's enough for you, cool. But really, what you are doing is you're keeping this little tiny internet radio station afloat. You are giving us hope, and each time we see a new patron come aboard, I cannot tell you what it means to us to see so many people jumping on board.
It does. It means a lot because it's not just here's $1, give me some content. It's here's $1, I believe in what you guys are doing.
Exactly.
And we appreciate that so much.
And I want to say, we've shied away from giving official numbers out, but I'm proud of this, man. We're up and over 30. I want to say we're officially at 36 patrons right now.
I think that's right.
That's ridiculous.
It's either 36 or 38.
Oh, maybe somebody else came in overnight or earlier today that I just haven't seen. Sometimes I miss the
can't
emails.
count.
Oh, okay. I think it's 36. But
Oh, I just dropped a marshmallow into the barrel fire. You
What's-
think I can fish that out? Oh, it's on fire.
Yeah.
It's on fire.
well, I mean, you dropped it in the fire, dude.
I hate when it's on fire.
Yeah,
It's
so-
just,
It's going to be nice and gooey. I mean, when we put it out later, you can fish it out if you want.
I feel like I should have brought more than one marshmallow.
Well, that's your fault. I told you to get a bag.
It's true.
So,
I mean, I got a bag, but I put one marshmallow in the bag.
yeah. I guess
You
maybe,
made a bag of marshmallows.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
No, I know where I've gone wrong
yeah.
here.
And next time, maybe some hot dogs, too. It would have been nice to start with the hot dogs and then move to the marshmallow.
I did before I came here. I did stop by 7-Eleven. I got a couple of big bites.
Okay.
I'm doing this wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever been by a barrel fire?
No, I haven't, but this is really nice.
It is
There were
nice.
some bums that we had to shoo off of it.
Yeah, but
I feel bad about that.
Well-
And I don't know why they were huddled around it in their big winter coats when it's like 75 degrees outside.
and they were standing by a barrel fire. It's that's them.
Eh.
So let's talk about the station. Firstly, let's talk about the workload, because
We were not expecting that.
no, it's exhausting, dude.
Yeah.
It really is exhausting.
I feel bad because we committed to SmackDown, to putting SmackDown on. We're like, yeah, we're going to do the SmackDown, and then we decided to do the station.
yeah.
And I feel like I wish we had more time because there's so much to do with the SmackDown. We both got full-time jobs. You're a full-time daddy,
Yeah,
which, that's a full-time job.
it is. On top of my full-time job at the station, too.
Especially your kids, very hyper.
Yeah.
Very hyper because
Yes.
they ate all of the
God damn it.
beeps.
It's never gonna go away.
That's my fault. That's my fault. And on top of that, we come straight from, or I come straight from work. You come straight from, putting your kids to bed, and it's another good five hours a weeknight that we spend out here.
Yep.
You working a little harder. I at least get to take a couple of breaks and go inside, because you're handling all the production work. I'm just, for the most part, shaking some hands and putting together promo videos.
Yeah. But it's still work.
But it's still work, yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be that much, and I feel like we're so behind. There's so much that we still need to do. I've got a ton of emails that I've got to send off for Joystick Syndicate to try to get us press passes and just the things to do to try to get us more legit. Because I won't say
Credibility.
legit because we're legit,
We're 100%.
but to get more credibility, to get more access, to convince people that we're credible enough to get their press passes, so we can bring you guys more things for our shows, like movie reviews, just all these little things that we can provide that we're working on outside of the station. Because we've also got the zine, which right now is just kind of getting an article every now and then, but especially me and Sarah have been talking lately a lot about building up the zine to really reflect both the arts and entertainment of here and national, and bringing some really well written articles and stories, and not really tread on like where the alt dailies, because they're very, very political. I don't want to do that, but to shine the light on and write some really great articles of some of the entertainment stuff. We just had Chocolate Milk and Waffles, and I'm sure we'll touch on the individual shows after this, but there's so much that's going on, and there's so much that's going on out there around us that I think a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they can go to a show and watch some live spoken word.
Mm-hmm.
There's everything that the bigger cities have, we've got here. We just don't always do a great job of working together as an arts community and pushing each other. It's a little bit of we don't play well with others.
Yeah.
We got to stop doing that.
I mean, especially
It's very poison.
most of these people are all after the same goal.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's working so well about Radio Free Radio. People come in and they see, man, these guys are legit, and they are after the same goal. They want the same thing that we do.
We have to stop pushing towards what we perceive to be predefined audiences or groups or cliques.
Yeah.
And start pushing out to everyone.
Yep.
And the only way to do that is for everybody to work together. And that's really what Radio Free Radio is about. It's about giving a voice to everyone and providing a platform that we can push in all kinds of different directions. And on top of that, entertain people. We want to make sure that these shows are entertaining. We don't want to just put on, a show because it's covering transgender issues. We want to make sure that we're providing entertainment. I mean, not right now apparently, while I'm talking, but we want to make sure everybody's having fun and they're being entertained.
Yeah, and I mean, so far so good. I get nothing but positive feedback about all the programs on our station, and we are taking some chances. And I feel good about that because, again, that's what we want. We want the outliers. We want the ones who feel like they don't have a voice elsewhere.
Absolutely.
So,
and we want the people that feel like they have a voice too. I mean,
yeah.
It's not like we're just. I run into the problem of I'm always going after the outliers. I'm always going after the fringe, but I'm going after the outliers and the fringe of like all the different groups. I want to go for the kids. The cool kids. But still feel like they're outliers, or still on the fringe, or the nerds that don't really feel like they fit in with the nerds. But at the same time, I still want to deliver to everyone.
yeah.
But I want to make. I just want to make connections with people. I really do.
And that's what's missing from this area, though. And again, I think that's what RFR delivers is the entertaining talk that you can listen to and you can interact with and feel like you're a part of.
Yeah.
And again, like that's why it's so important to me that most of those 36 that have pledged to the Patreon are at the $1 mark, and to me, that is way more important, way more special than if everybody was given $100.
Whoa.
It would be great. It would be
Yeah.
great because, that'd be sweet. We'd be able to pay ourselves. But the fact that they're buying in at that $1 mark.
Sure, like it's better to have 100 $1 patrons than it is to have 100.
Exactly.
I think. Because that 100 at the $1 level is 100 people that are listening and engaged and feel like they're part of something.
And I hope that if you're listening, because this is going to go on the Patreon too, I hope that if this hits your Patreon tomorrow and you listen to this program and maybe you only pledged the $1 for one program specifically, I hope you're checking out all the other programs.
Yeah.
I think you're making a huge mistake if you're not.
Yeah, and there's going to be stuff that's not for you.
Yeah.
And we get that. That's cool, but there's probably going to be a couple of things you can find on the station that, like, not everybody's going to be into waiting around to die.
No.
But there's going to be a lot of people who aren't being served a show like that. It's like when I was younger, and they had like GamePro TV.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like all of a sudden it was a video game show on TV, and there wasn't anything like that. So I used to get super excited when it came on. I want to do more shows like that, where people are like, oh, there's no more entertaining talk on the radio outside of the usual kind of morning show that people are running.
Two people and they're talking. And
or like a morning zoo.
yeah.
But outside of that, you don't have like on Good Morning You Drunks,
Yeah.
a straight up morning talk show that we just happen to be playing on the night. I mean, it's obviously more of an afternoon drive, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that's kind of inside baseball, but we're not afraid to pull back the curtain here. It's ever since like Mike and Bob left, it seems like there's been just a lack of that around here, and I think everyone needs to know that there's still a huge audience that isn't being served.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of them. I had to go out and do my own radio station to get the content that I want to hear.
Yeah.
And yes, there are thousands of podcasts, millions of podcasts out there. We're not doing what podcasts are doing. Podcasts, for the most part, are usually just two people sitting here and talking. What we're doing with Good Morning You Drunks, or what we're trying to do with Good Morning You Drunks, is to do an honest-to-God afternoon drive morning show on the radio that you can listen to at any time on demand.
Yeah. And we want it to be a hang. We want it to be people feel like they can call in and talk to us like they're part of what GMY did. And that hasn't changed.
No.
Even when we were a podcast, that's what we were about.
Well, I mean, you can ask any of our fans. You can go talk to Leslie, go talk to the Frank. It's anyone who listens to our show, they become a part of the show, and you interact with us. I mean, they are friends now, you know?
Yep.
And, like, Leslie in particular doesn't realize how important she is as a listener, because the day after, when I know that she's listened to the show, she always goes on her Twitter and live tweets as she's every single day after Good Morning You Drunks. I check her Twitter and I see what she responded to, what she engaged with, because she's the type of fan that I love. She embraces us and she interacts. She's not afraid to interact with us, and she enjoys it. So I want to know what it is that she's enjoying from the show and what I can do to find more of her out there and bring them into the fold.
Yeah. And, do you want to start talking about like the individual shows? Let's
talk about the individual shows, because I think there's
a strong lineup here.
There's a strong
night.
lineup.
And actually, if you happen to be listening and you want to talk
to the Nate Project.
Oh, don't do that to Nate. It
That's
might be
one of our best shows.
It really might be. If you're listening,
I'm going to say that a lot.
If you're listening and you'd like to chime in on what your favorite show so far on the station is, or if you want to talk about anything, the phone number is 757-848-5920. I'll stop talking for a second to run over there and grab the phone.
Sure.
It's no big
And I'll
deal.
start talking to Fill Time.
Yeah.
Since that did air.
We'll figure that out.
We're
but
pros.
yeah, if you want to
So
do that,
pro.
phone line is open. So do you want to just start on Monday? We talked a little bit about
Monday's
GMID.
Good Morning, You Drunks. I mean,
9 to 11.
I think everybody knows how important that show is to us, at least. I mean, that was the genesis of everything.
I'm still very proud of that because, again, like I feel like RFR is everything I've been doing with YMS for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we built the last year with GMYD, combining them together,
Exactly.
and
then fleshing out the other bits.
Yep.
I like to think of us as naughty NPR.
yeah, okay, yeah,
I mean, I think that we're a little more entertaining at times, and I think we can provide the same kind of community service.
yeah. But 9 to 11 on Mondays is GMYD. Before us, though, opening up the night is Shower Thoughts with Sarah and Keith.
Yeah. Both of them had never done a show before, and I'm really proud at seeing them grow. So much so that Keith has just been a lifesaver. Sarah is fantastic. I would have blown my brains out without having Sarah around. And to watch them grow and kind of mold their show and become good at this is just exciting to watch. It's it really is, because I like I said, one problem that me and Justin always have is that we're completely transparent with everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that makes us bad bosses. We should hide things from not just the people that we've brought in to work with us, but also from our audience. But we're not good at that.
No.
You pretty much know how me and Justin feel about things.
Yeah.
And I was worried after the first Shower Thoughts, because they had never done it before.
Yeah.
And this seems like it's easier than it is. It's just talking, right? You're just talking on mics.
Mm-hmm.
But there's technique into it. There's art to it. And to watch them figure their own show out, at first it was like, hey, we just want to do a show about, things that you think about in the shower. And that kind of became a very structured show that, I mean, I gave a little bit of advice, but they figured their show out on their own.
Yeah.
And that's important to me, is that you've got enough of me talking on RFR.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, you know what you're getting from me and Justin. It's exciting when people like Sarah and Keith can discover that they too love radio.
Yeah.
And that they've got this show now that they're developing, that's developing in their voice. It's completely different than what we do leading into GMYD, and it's an important show, and I hope people love listening to it. They've got a solid fan base that's always interacting with them, and that's important to the show. It's a great show. And then obviously GMYD, which
We could talk about for hours, so let's not.
that crazy bastard of a show.
Because you never really know what you're going to get there.
I was worried about GMYD when we made the leap, because we went from GMYD being our main focus, and we could come in once a week and we could do 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours,
Yeah.
when we just we're going, or 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
But I was worried that it was going to suffer, and I think it did at first,
Initially, a little bit.
and it had to, because it didn't need our attention as much as.
Well,
as
I
it
mean, there's some nights where we can cruise control that show,
Yeah.
and unfortunately that, on our end, like how we feel about the show is going to suffer because we feel like we're not giving our all.
Yeah, we just have a high standard,
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to go in and do an amazing bit like Maddie Wonka or Morrissey's a Pussy.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to bring some of those back and just play best ofs.
Yeah, I mean, we're on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of places to plop best ofs in.
Let us know if you want us to throw some GMYD bits into things.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It'd be fun.
So we close out Mondays. Oh, before we leave,
Hashtag WrestlePals, where I tend to fall asleep.
well, it doesn't start until 11 o'clock. So, And I mean, you know, if you listen to GMYD, you know, here's more inside baseball. It's usually Matt's mic 1, Nathan's 2, and I'm 3 sniping. You know, just getting in where I can. The Wrestle Pals is completely different.
Yeah.
Because usually either Nate or I is 1, and then the other is 2, and then you're 3 taking a turn coming in
whenever I'm awake.
Whenever you're awake, doing a run in and
really inside. Last Monday's show was really rough on me.
Yeah, I looked over and I was like, oh, we lost
I was
Matt.
out.
I actually had to go over to you and I'm like, hey, do you want to do the Divas thing or?
Yeah, Divas. That was on. That's a show.
But you know, I was worried about that one a little bit at first because, I mean, I did YWS for 4 years.
Yep.
And one of the reasons we stopped doing it is like, man, we've talked about everything there is to talk about with the wrestling. But, you know, talking with Nathan, we're really starting to, like, morph into our own show. Like, it has some of the same elements that made YWS good, but it also has a lot more silliness to it, I would say.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we wanted. And
Yeah.
that's why that show can stay evergreen,
Yep.
is because it can, when it's not exciting to talk about wrestling, then we can play a game,
Yep.
or we could do a bit. Or, you know, it's an extension of what you guys were doing with YWS, but different. I feel it's definitely a different show.
Well, it's a different cast, so I mean it has to be different, and it's not you know, Good Morning You Wrestlers or Good Wrestling You Drunks.
No, it's a completely different show.
It's different than GMYD. It's just the same cast,
Same voices.
yeah.
I'm going to be talking about dead wrestlers every week. I
And
just happen to. Oh boy,
what happened to
it's
TJ
definitely
this week?
Oh, well, it's a funny story. He's cleaning out a litter box.
Yeah.
Slipped,
Uh-oh.
broke his entire back.
Damn.
He's injured.
Oh.
He's injured.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So that wraps up our Mondays. Tuesday starts off with the Nate Project, and I got to tell you, I mean, when
Is it surprising?
It
It's
does-
not
it's not
surprising
surprising.
to me.
No, not at all.
Because I know Nathan pretty well.
Yeah.
And I've written for Nathan, and for all intents and purposes, he's my other partner.
yeah,
It has been for a good 6 years now, 7
Yeah.
years. So it didn't surprise me, but at the same time, I felt very proud when I listened to his show, because a one-man show like that, especially limited or especially with the candid nature and topics that he picks, 'cause it's a very personal show, and it's very rare that someone can go on the mic and talk for an hour straight and still be compelling.
yeah,
And he's always compelling. He's always fun to listen to. Well, not always fun. But sometimes it's a bit of a drag.
yeah.
But it's an emotional, weird, often funny show that he completely pulls off.
Yeah.
And I can't express enough how much he continues to just surprise me with what he can do and impress me, and I'm just completely proud of him. I mean, not that I was like ever the lead in the relationship and I'm like the dad, but it's cool to see him go off on his own and do something that's in his own voice, completely in his own voice.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times in the past, it's been he and I as a team. So it's been a little mix of both of us, and to see him do something that's completely his own and in his own voice is cool on my end, and I hope that the listeners feel the same way.
Well, I never once had a doubt, because you know sometimes when we're like working things out for GMYD or
Yeah.
you know we're doing videos and stuff, we always have to tell them less words, and with the Nate Project, it's actually more words, and that's what he excels at, and it's an outstanding show. I mean, again, give to
He's
the
a hell of a
Patreon
performer.
Yeah, he really is.
You haven't seen Issues 206, Wing.
I've never. What is it? What's Issues? What is that?
You'll see this summer.
Oh, okay, cool.
But he's amazing in that.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
I like to.
I like when you play along. I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen this.
9 o'clock is popped. We had some cast changes.
That show was rocky for a couple of weeks.
Well,
until we figured it out.
the intention was I was going to be, again, more like the same role of GMYD, where I was going to take third and just chime in occasionally.
Yeah.
And the topics that we had, I just wouldn't be as strong too. And there was a couple weeks where I had to play too, and I'm just not good at
Yeah,
it.
they just weren't strong.
Yeah.
We hadn't figured the show out, and I reached out to Keith and I was like, "You want to do a little more?" And boy, did he!
Yeah.
Not only did he pop right into that show. Oh God, I didn't mean to do that. Not only did he jump right into that role, he did it amazingly well. For a guy that's only been on the barrel fire's going out. Stoke the fire a little.
What's going on?
Got it.
There we go.
Oh,
Hey,
oh,
hey,
fire.
hey.
For a guy that's only been doing this for 2 months now, he's a pro, and not just on the show. If you follow, make sure you go and follow the facebook.com/popped
RFR.
RFR. Nice. Someone has to remember it. He's killing it as far as getting content on there. If you want to know anything that's happening in pop culture and geeky news and fun dildos, I don't think he covers.
No,
dildos.
there's no dildos.
No dildos.
No dildos.
He's killing it on that page. He actually scooped something like this week. Something about this. Some people were leaving Castle. He actually scooped a bunch of people and became one of the influencers on Facebook. And all of a sudden, we start seeing, oh my gosh, it's getting shared like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? I don't know these people. So definitely follow the Facebook. Tune in. It's going to cover a lot more geeky stuff. We've got Local Heroes is coming in. Juan from Local Heroes is going to start calling in every week to tell you guys what's new in comics and what's going to be down at their store and what's selling well. And then with the summer movies coming out, we're going to have a ton of geeky stuff to cover. I have no idea what's after Popped.
It's 10 o'clock, deprogrammed.
Oh, that show. That's a great show.
There's
There's one thing that I think we're both disappointed with about that show,
Yeah.
and that's us not having our ASCAP,
yeah.
not being able to play the songs.
I think that would take it otherworldly.
yeah.
Because there's sometimes sometimes the conversations, like the Radiohead one, the conversation
Yeah.
was good enough to where almost all of us knew the songs if you said them.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the other shows, there's at least one or two spots where somebody says a song title and you're like, I'm not familiar with that one.
Well, and what I love about that show is that you're not picking just obvious. I mean, this next week we've got Foo Fighters that you're doing.
Yeah.
But this week it was Weird Al, and then you did like Local H, and you're not just going for what you like.
Yep.
And I think it'll also be interesting when you go the other way and have people try to convince you that Kiss isn't crap.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Hear that, fan of the game?
It's going to be fun. Well, the only way I take on Kiss, the only way Kiss happens on this is if I get Mike Powers and Alfredo Torres, because there's no other way that I'm going to do it. Like, that's literally the only way I will do a Kiss episode. I had a bit of a spat with my wife this last weekend because she said, you should have me and Jenny on and we could do a Hanson episode. And I'm like, no, I don't like Hanson.
You didn't have to hit her, though.
Well, I didn't, so thankfully. But yeah, it's just, I guess I could do a Please Explain episode with Hanson, and I might, because again, I think the thing that
You better have a good argument.
well, yeah, and it's great to bring in people who are impassioned about. You listen to the ICP episode. A lot of people,
And I can't stand ICP.
a lot of people.
I mean, I like ICP, what they're doing, the
Yeah.
DIY stuff, but I don't like their music.
A lot
It's
of
just not my thing.
people, saw that I was doing an ICP episode and is I lost respect for you, blah blah blah. Well, whatever.
Just listen to the show.
Listen to the show. It's not about the show. Even though we are talking about these musicians, it's not about the musicians. It's about our love for the musicians,
Yeah.
and the conversations are always good. That's one thing I pride
It's
myself on.
It's a great fan show.
Weird Al was a lot of fun, and Foo Fighters will be the same next week. So I'm looking forward to that. And 11 o'clock is Dead Week with Shakespeare Teasley.
Great show.
Yeah, man. He puts a lot of work in.
He does, and it shows.
A lot of production, a lot of
writing.
And he's really coming into his own as a host of the program and a comedian because he's just getting into comedy.
Yeah. He's gonna grow to be a really good talent. He's eventually going to just leave us, go take a big fat paycheck somewhere. Just sad.
Well, so that takes us to Wednesday, and Wednesday 8 o'clock is Waiting Around to Die. We talked about that show a little bit.
Yeah,
Misanthropes.
And
you're welcome.
That's the first of the shows I put down as important shows.
Yeah,
because number one, Josh makes me laugh. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it.
He's always in the bit.
Love that dude.
He has his own bit, and he's always in it.
And
there's the barrel fire.
Oh, barrel fire's back. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else will, but I get it. But at the same time, I mean, this is a scene that he's into that we are not into.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of stuff that we need because it's a strong, different voice than everything else that's on the station. And that's also something that's very, very important to me is diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on 3 shows apiece. You might be on 4.
Who knows?
But
lost count.
That's just how it is. We had to get the station off the ground.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to deal with us on 3 different shows. I'm sorry. But it's very, very important for me to also get strong, independent voices that are completely different than anything else that you hear on radio.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh is one of those people. Waiting for Around to Die is not something you're going to find anywhere else.
Nope.
I've never even seen any podcasts on this stuff.
Nope.
And it's a weird, funny show. And if you like that stuff, and I know there's an audience for it, then make sure you tune in. And just, you know what, even if you're not into it, tune in once. Just give one of them a try. Even if you just skip through the music's not your thing, just to hear Josh intro the songs and DJ the songs and just do his thing because for me, that shit is sublime.
It's fun.
It's
funny.
fun and sublime, and the way he goes with things when shit goes wrong makes me laugh every time. I hate to say it, but I want stuff to happen to go wrong. It's one of the only shows well, it's also easy to hang when it's just him.
Yeah.
But it's one of the few shows that I come out and sit in on, even if I'm not on mic.
Yeah. Just hang out
and just hang and just do the hang. Wednesday nights is becoming the hang night.
Yeah, it is.
When you really want to be here, when things are going down.
Well,
I'm not saying yesterday was 420 or nothing.
Well,
I'm not saying there was any kind of celebrating that because we wouldn't do that.
Yeah, we'd never do that.
But Wednesday night is the night when I feel like this is old school 70s radio, indie radio. It's just a cool hang. And I wish there was a way to bring the cool hang that's happening on Wednesdays to everybody else so they could get an idea of what's going on here. But sometimes it's burgers cooking.
Yeah.
Sometimes, stuff's happening.
Sometimes the barrel fire just keeps going out inexplicably.
It's 70s radio on Wednesday nights.
Yeah. And then at 9 o'clock, it's Joystick Syndicate.
You say with Joystick, we're doing big things with Joystick Syndicate. We're working on the Twitch. We're working on on getting Twitch to broadcast the show live. Was that a boat?
Yes.
We're gonna do a lot of cool things with Twitch. I mean, you can come hang with us as we play video games. Usually it's The Division. Joystick Syndicate, I can't wait for. We're trying to get into E3. We're trying to get all over the place.
Yeah. 10 o'clock. This is like the most shocking show on the station so far, Ron to the Hills. Because, and we've told this to his face.
Another important show.
Yeah, it's hugely important for multiple reasons. Number one, to watch how quickly Ron has morphed from that first show to now.
I'm not going to say he was a disaster, but he was a bit of a disaster.
He was the deer in the headlights.
We turned up the show, and he stared at us and stammered through a couple of pre-written stuff, and now That bastard is smooth as shit.
Yeah.
And he's brought Don in.
And Don, I can't say enough about Don.
I cannot. He was always kind of on my peripheral, just being friends with you, being friends with Billy, being in human services.
Right.
But I always thought he was, I got a feeling that he was just kind of a sarcastic asshole.
Oh, he is.
And then I found out that he is, but in the most beautiful way.
Yeah.
I love that dude. One of the things I love about RFR, I feel like we're finally getting amongst, we're getting a place for all the dirtbags that we know to kind of come together and be dirtbags with us.
Yeah, it's
on
all,
the radio.
It's all the people who've been getting the double middle fingers.
Yeah.
And
give us the double middle fingers because there's more of us now.
Yeah.
And we will stare at you while you get dressed.
But Don has been like immensely huge
behind the scenes.
Yeah,
too.
because I mean he's been taking on the a lot of the promos that you guys have seen. He's taken on the archives on the YouTube.
He's helping us price out and piece together the new gear that we're getting to put in new mics and stuff, and to go fully digital. I can't say enough about how much I appreciate that dude.
I mean, we've said this a lot of times off air, but I feel like we're in front of microphones now. It's a good time to say it. We need a lot more Keith and Dons.
Yeah.
Those guys have been huge in where we are.
And if
so
you're
far.
interested in doing anything and helping out behind the scenes, we need the help. We need some producers to come in and help us produce the show. Because right now, if it's not Justin, it's me. And if it's me, it's usually disastrous. Just because I'm not doing it as much as Justin. I can. But we've got Keith, who's really starting to learn behind the scenes. He can run any of the shows now. We were until they decided to pass. He was going to come in next Wednesday and run the show for us. And it's cool to have people like that.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
And if this sounds like something that you want to do and get involved with, come help us out.
Yeah, man. There's
We'll
no
teach
pay.
you.
There's
no pay. All we can do is teach you the ropes. I mean, Justin pretty much knows what he's doing. Don knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does.
You can. All we can really say is, we don't care if you don't know anything.
Yeah.
We'll come learn with us.
Yeah.
We'll teach you what we know, and then you can learn with us everything that we're starting to learn, like the stupid phone lines, and you wouldn't believe the problems that come with all this. Like keeping the barrel fire lit.
Oh yeah. Well,
The Linux machine that we're running some stuff on. Let's run Linux.
do what you can, right?
I
Donate it to the station.
I wouldn't.
so.
I wouldn't give this studio for like a state of the art. Dude, the fact that we put all of this together and we did all the research and we figured out how to make it work, and we then made it work, and sometimes we're making it work while the show is happening. I'm surprised there hasn't been an actual fire yet.
There might be.
Stay tuned.
Huge addition to the station. Wednesday nights at 11 o'clock. Nights at the Round Table with Brian Lewis.
Again, just another good dude, and he's funny, and he's got a sensitivity that a lot of us don't have.
Yeah.
And he's got cool friends that he can come in and interview, and I feel like that's another one of those marquee shows.
He after every show he's like, man, I hope I'm doing you proud, and I'm like, well,
No, yeah, it's beyond that.
It's exactly what when we thought of. I wanted to do a roundtable discussion. Initially, it was going to be musicians, and then I was like, man, we don't need another show with me on it. And they were like, oh, well, I'll do it. And I was like, man, we don't need another show with you on it.
And then I was like, and then I think we both were like, Brian Lewis.
Yep. And
he's been perfect.
He's been exactly. It's exactly what we envisioned.
It's another one of those marquee voices, another one of those marquee shows, just like Dead Week, just like Ron to the Hills.
Yeah.
That we do very minimal work on.
Yep.
And they just kill it.
Yeah.
Week in and week out.
And that's that we can't thank them enough for, because the more shows that we have that aren't me and you,
Yeah.
the better. That's just the reality of it, because people are going to be tired of our voices. But
And we're doing a show now, and nobody's here to tend to the barrel fire. It just keeps going out.
keeps going out. Well, that takes us to Thursdays. Thursdays, the Chocolate Milk and Waffle Show.
Which just wrapped up
Golly.
That show is so beyond what I'd be able to put together.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think of when I think, hey, we need a show that serves the community but still entertains the community.
Yeah.
It's a different set of circles that I had no idea that there were so many of these performers out there, and love them.
That takes us to our 9 o'clock show, which is me,
Yep.
Stories by the Barrel Fire. And usually I have musicians in, bands from the local music scene.
Yep.
And eventually I'm going to take the local completely out of it. It's going to be just independent music, which we've tried desperately to just not refer to it as local music because
it's not.
It's not.
It's not. I
indie.
mean, it's local to us, but it's also indie.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and that's an important show because like you've been doing with YMS is really just, it's not just pushing the music out there and getting this music into people's ears, but it's also making connections with the bands.
Yeah.
And that's taking the YMS formula and just blowing it wide open by putting them into the hot seats and making them tell stories and let people know who they are as a band, what they're going through to make their music and to put it out there for people. It's a great show, and I hope that people listen to it and don't skip over it.
Yeah.
Feral Conservatives last week was
That was a lot
so
of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Wheat Thin's way better than Triscuits, though.
Yeah, I agree. And again, we won't have one next week because of the Comedy Smackdown. But May's starting to fill out, so that won't. It's going to be a while before.
Give us a couple of hints.
Well, Irish band. I'm in talks with an Irish band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like an Irish band that maybe is fronted by a local radio legend?
Yeah. Yeah. Been in talks with them. Talking with some sick dudes.
Oh.
The return of a certain band whose initials are BMA, and they hate when I call them BMA. And talking, and actually, Gabe, I'll give one away. Gabe from Hindu Pez is coming in.
Oh.
His new project's called the Risk Cutter.
awesome.
They're coming in. Following Stories by the Barrel Fire is at 10 o'clock is the FSB Sports Hour. They're actually getting ready to come in here tonight.
Yeah. And they're doing their fantasy draft tonight, the fantasy NFL draft. So definitely, and again, another show, which is a circle outside of our circle,
Yeah.
And it's fun to bring in new guys that we don't necessarily know.
I didn't know
and have them do something that I have no idea how to do.
Yeah.
I'll come in here and be like, Deion Sanders is cool. Doesn't he kick soccer balls well?
Yeah. And they're really starting to find their groove too.
Yeah.
Becoming a really Chase. Good morning, you drunks listener.
Was
Yeah.
now FSB listener.
Yeah.
Thanks,
exactly.
Chase.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry we're on during Raw.
Yeah. And then Fridays we have Ladio Radio at 9 p.m. Fridays we're actually going to be expanding well into your music show is going to be taking the 8 o'clock.
And
9
there's
o'clock's Ladio
rumors
Radio.
that a certain show that used to be beloved that hasn't been on for a few months
if you guys can figure out the wins
with two fat guys.
if you guys can figure out the wins, that'll happen. And then closing out Fridays is going to be the I don't know if they have a name for it, but the Human Services, they're going to do like a jam session. And they're going to be bringing in artists and they're going to interview them and then they're going to jam with them. And I think that's, number one, a great idea. Number two, something we desperately need on this station.
Yeah.
So things are going really well here in RFR land. We've got it all on RFR. It's our station.
Yeah, don't forget it's our station. And we say that so importantly. Get in touch with me. You can find, it's surprisingly easy to get in touch with me and Justin. Or anybody else in Radio Free Radio. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. I mean, we may veto you. If you say, I can't stand waiting around to die, I'm sorry, it's staying on. I love it. But let us know how we're doing, what we can do. And if you want to just stop by.
Yeah.
We're working on things. Just 10 seconds before we went on, me and Justin were talking about putting a little stage in the studio clubhouse and even doing a couple of comedy open mics.
It'd be
And this
fun.
cramped display. Yeah, I mean, it'll be small, it'll be intimate, it'll be a pressure cooker for anybody who wants to get on stage and do some jokes.
Yeah.
but we can put it out live
Yep.
to everyone, and it's interesting, and it's not something that anybody's doing live
Yeah.
on radio other than maybe XM,
Yeah.
but whatever. We can do whatever we want.
We can do whatever.
So
we
let
want.
us
It's our
know what
station.
you want.
And with that, just as a reminder, patreon.com/Radio Free Radio. And
That keeps us going.
Don messaged me, are you guys really going to do a fucking hour-long ad? Kinda.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we just did, Don.
kinda.
I take back everything I said about you.
But I mean, I think it's really important that occasionally you and I hop on, tell
Pledge drive.
tell people how things are going, and
We don't
things
have
are going really well. We're really
we don't
happy.
have government funding
no.
like
We don't,
NPR.
we don't even really have personal funding.
So this is our pledge drive. If you like what we're doing and you want us to continue, you want us to get better, go to the Patreon, patreon.com/Radio Free Radio. Just a buck gets you everything that we've got. And if you can give more a month, cool. It's going to go into the station,
Yep.
It's going to go into things like F-Fest,
Yes.
which we're working on for this summer.
Can't wait. That's gonna
Where
be fun.
we are going to be doing our own indie music / whatever we feel like putting on the bill festival this summer, and we'll give more details as we get a little.
It's
more
still in
clear.
sculpting.
But it's
So-
going to be F-Fest, and
F-Fest.
let's get out of here so we can give the FSB guys the time.
Yes, so make sure you stay tuned. FSB Sports Hour is coming up next, and they're doing their draft special, and we will talk to you the week after next.
We love you.
Yes, have a good night.